Welcome back to the channel JF Coin, everyone, to the channel where we explore the hidden treasures of coins and the incredible stories behind everyday money. Today we are diving into a fascinating coin that millions of people may have seen but very few truly understand. It is the 1-cent 2003 Lincoln penny, a small copper-colored coin from the United States of America that carries the famous words "In God We Trust" and the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. At first glance, this coin looks ordinary, just another penny that people receive in change at a grocery store or find forgotten in a jar. But in the world of coin collecting and numismatics, even the smallest coin can hide an extraordinary story and sometimes even a surprising value that can reach thousands of dollars when rare varieties and errors are discovered. In this video we will explore the history of the 2003 Lincoln penny, the meaning behind its design, the mint where it was produced, the rare errors that collectors hunt for, and the market value that can make a simple 1-cent coin worth far more than its face value. The Lincoln cent has one of the longest and most interesting histories in American coinage. The design first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first regular circulating United States coin to feature the portrait of a real historical figure. Since that time, the Lincoln cent has become one of the most recognized coins in the world. By the time the year 2003 arrived, the Lincoln penny had already been in circulation for nearly a century, making it one of the most iconic pieces of American currency. The coin features the profile of Abraham Lincoln on the front side with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" above his head, "Liberty" to the left, and the year of minting beneath the portrait. The reverse side of the coin during 2003 still displayed the Lincoln Memorial design, which had been used since 1959. The 2003 penny was produced in several mints across the United States, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coin we are focusing on today is the 2003 penny, which means it was struck at the Denver Mint. The small letter D located under the date indicates its place of origin. The Denver Mint is one of the most important coin-producing facilities in the United States and has been responsible for producing billions of coins every year. In 2003 alone, the Denver Mint struck more than 3.5 billion Lincoln pennies, making it a very common coin in everyday circulation. Because such a large number of these coins were produced, most 2003 pennies that people find today are worth only their face value of 1 cent. Even in uncirculated condition, many of them sell for only a few cents, or a small premium to collectors. In fact, typical uncirculated examples may be worth only 10 to 30 cents depending on their quality and color. However, the world of coin collecting is filled with surprises, and sometimes the rarest and most valuable coins come from ordinary years when unusual minting errors occur. Before we talk about the rare errors, let us understand the physical characteristics of the 2003 Lincoln penny. The coin has a diameter of approximately 19 millimeters and weighs about 2.5 grams. Unlike early pennies, which were mostly copper, the modern penny, including the 2003 version, is made from a zinc core with a thin copper plating. The composition is about 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. This change in metal composition happened decades earlier to reduce production costs, but it also created new types of minting errors that collectors carefully search for today. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is the hunt for mint errors. These errors occur during the production process when something unusual happens at the mint. Sometimes the dies that stamp the coin designs become misaligned or damaged. Sometimes the blank metal planchet is not placed correctly during the striking process. In other cases, the coin may even be struck on the wrong type of metal. Each of these mistakes can create a unique coin that collectors are eager to find. For the 2003 Lincoln penny, one of the most well-known types of error is the doubled die error. In this situation, the design of the coin appears doubled or slightly shifted because the die used to strike the coin was created with a slight misalignment. When you look closely at the letters of Liberty, or the words "In God We Trust," you may see a shadow-like doubling effect. These coins are rare and collectors often pay much more for them compared to a normal penny. Even small double die errors can sell for several dollars or more depending on the clarity of the doubling. Another fascinating error is known as a broad strike. This happens when the collar that normally holds the coin in place during striking fails to work properly. As a result, the coin spreads out slightly and becomes wider than a normal penny. The rim may look distorted and the shape can appear unusual. Collectors love dramatic errors like this because they clearly show something went wrong during the minting process. One example of a 2003 penny with a broad strike error sold at auction for hundreds of dollars, showing how a small mistake can turn a 1-cent coin into a valuable collectible. Even more dramatic is the off-center strike error. In this case, the coin is struck while the blank metal piece is not perfectly centered under the die. The result is a coin where part of the design is missing and pushed toward the edge. Sometimes the coin may show only half of the portrait or part of the lettering. Depending on how off-center the strike is, these coins can be worth hundreds of dollars because of their unusual appearance. Another rare possibility is a coin struck on the wrong planchet. This occurs when a blank metal piece intended for a different denomination accidentally enters the penny production line. For example, a penny could be struck on a dime planchet, which would make it smaller and lighter than a normal cent. These types of mistakes are extremely rare and collectors are willing to pay significant amounts for them. Some examples of such errors involving modern pennies have sold for more than $1,000 at auction. Condition also plays a huge role in determining the value of any coin. Coin collectors use a grading system to describe the quality of a coin, ranging from heavily worn to perfect mint state. A coin that has never been used in circulation and retains its original red copper color is much more desirable than one that has become brown and worn from years of handling. In rare cases, a perfectly preserved modern penny graded at the highest levels by professional grading services can sell for hundreds of dollars simply because of its exceptional condition. One remarkable example involved a nearly perfect 2003 Lincoln penny graded MS-69, which sold for nearly $600. While that may not sound like millions of dollars, it is still an incredible increase from a coin that originally had a face value of just 1 cent. This shows how condition and rarity together can transform ordinary coins into valuable collectibles. Now you might be wondering where the idea of pennies worth thousands or even millions of dollars comes from. Throughout the history of the Lincoln cent, there have been some truly legendary coins. Famous examples include the 1943 bronze Lincoln cent and the 1909 SVDB penny, which have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars at auctions. These coins are extremely rare because of unusual minting circumstances or very limited production numbers. Stories like these inspire collectors to examine every penny they find because you never know when a hidden treasure might appear. The thrill of the hunt is what makes coin collecting such an exciting hobby. People search through rolls of pennies from banks, check their spare change, and examine old coin jars hoping to discover a rare variety or mint error. Even though most coins are common, the possibility of finding something extraordinary keeps collectors motivated. When looking for a valuable 2003 Lincoln penny, there are several things you should check carefully. First, look at the mint mark below the date to confirm that the coin was struck in Denver. Next, examine the lettering, especially the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," to see if there is any sign of doubling. Use a magnifying glass or coin microscope if possible, because some errors are very small and difficult to see with the naked eye. Then inspect the rim and shape of the coin to determine whether it might be a broad strike or off-center error. Finally, check the overall condition of the coin, because bright red uncirculated examples are always more desirable to collectors. Another important tip for collectors is to avoid cleaning coins. Many people believe that polishing a coin will increase its value, but in reality, cleaning usually damages the surface and reduces the coin's worth. Professional collectors prefer coins with original surfaces even if they show some natural aging. The market for rare coins is constantly changing as collectors buy and sell pieces through auctions, dealers, and online marketplaces. Prices can rise dramatically when a particularly rare coin appears on the market, or when interest in a certain series increases. While a normal 2003 penny may be worth only a cent, the excitement of discovering an unusual variety or error keeps collectors searching through their change every day. Beyond the financial value, coins also carry historical significance. Every coin Today we are diving into one of the most surprising coins hiding in everyday pocket change, the 1 cent 2060 Lincoln penny with the famous words "In God We Trust" from the United States of America. At first glance, this coin looks ordinary, just another copper-colored penny that most people ignore or drop into a jar. But what if I told you that some Lincoln pennies have shocked collectors with incredible values, and rare varieties or mint errors can turn a simple 1 cent coin into a collector's treasure worth hundreds, thousands, or even more depending on rarity and condition? In this video we are going to explore the history, design, minting process, and potential value of the 2006 Lincoln penny, and why coin collectors around the world continue searching their change for hidden treasures. The Lincoln cent is one of the most famous coins ever produced by the United States. It was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. The coin replaced the Indian head cent and became the first circulating American coin to feature a real historical person. The original design was created by Victor David Brenner, and his portrait of Lincoln remains on the coin today more than a century later. Over the decades, the reverse side of the penny has changed several times, including the wheat ears design used from 1909 to 1958 and the Lincoln Memorial design introduced in 1959. The 2006 penny belongs to the Lincoln Memorial era, meaning the back of the coin displays the famous Washington, D.C. monument dedicated to Abraham Lincoln. On the front of the coin you will see the profile portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right. Above his head are the words "In God We Trust," the national motto of the United States. To the left of Lincoln's portrait appears the word "Liberty," and to the right you will find the date of the coin along with a small mint mark. When the coin has the letter D next to the date, it means the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint has produced billions of coins for circulation and is known for striking large quantities of Lincoln cents each year. The 2006 Lincoln penny was produced in extremely high numbers. In fact, billions of these coins were struck that year, which is one reason they are still very common today. Because of this high production, most 2006 pennies found in circulation are worth only their face value of 1 cent. Even in uncirculated condition, many of them sell for only a few cents to a couple of dollars depending on the quality of the coin. But here is where things become interesting. Coin collectors know that the value of a coin is not determined only by its age. Several important factors influence the value of coins, including rarity, mint errors, historical significance, demand among collectors, and the condition or grade of the coin. When these factors combine in just the right way, a simple coin can become extremely valuable. One of the most important factors in coin collecting is condition. Professional grading companies evaluate coins using a scale from 1 to 70. Coins that reach extremely high grades such as MS-67 or MS-68 are considered near-perfect examples with almost no marks or wear. When a coin from a common year survives in this kind of pristine condition, collectors often compete to own it because so few exist. Some 2006 pennies graded at the highest levels have sold for thousands of dollars at auctions simply because of their perfect preservation. Another major reason a coin may become valuable is the presence of mint errors. A mint error happens when something goes wrong during the manufacturing process at the mint. Because coins are produced by the billions, occasional mistakes occur, and these mistakes can create unique varieties that collectors eagerly search for. The 2006 Lincoln penny has several known error types that have attracted attention in the numismatic world. One of the most famous errors is the doubled die error. This occurs when the coin die strikes the design more than once at slightly different angles, creating a doubled appearance on letters or numbers. On some 2006 pennies, collectors have observed doubling on the word "Liberty" or on the date. When this doubling is strong and clearly visible, the coin can sell for hundreds of dollars depending on its condition and rarity. Another fascinating error is known as a strike-through error. This happens when a foreign object such as a piece of wire, metal fragment, or grease becomes trapped between the die and the coin blank during the striking process. When the coin is struck, the object leaves an impression or mark on the surface of the coin. Some 2060 pennies with retained wire strike-through errors have sold for several $100s at auction because they display dramatic and unusual features. There are also lamination errors, which occur when layers of metal on the coin blank begin to separate during the minting process. This can create peeling or cracked surfaces on the coin that look very unusual. In some cases, collectors have paid over $1,000 for rare lamination error pennies from 2006 because these pieces represent unusual manufacturing flaws that are difficult to find. When collectors hunt for valuable coins, they carefully examine every detail. They check the mint mark, the clarity of the lettering, the shine of the metal, and any unusual marks or distortions. Even the smallest detail can mean the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and a coin worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. The metal composition of the 2006 penny is also interesting. Earlier pennies were made mostly from copper, but after 1982 the composition changed to a zinc core with a thin copper coating. This change was made because the price of copper had increased dramatically, making it too expensive to produce pennies from solid copper. As a result, modern Lincoln cents, including the 2006 penny, weigh about 2.5 grams and consist of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. Despite being common coins, Lincoln cents have become one of the most popular areas of coin collecting in the United States and around the world. Millions of collectors search through rolls of pennies hoping to discover rare varieties, valuable errors, or extremely high-grade examples.